In this video, we're going to be making this purse. It's made, of course, out of recycled ties. This was extremely fun to make, and I love this purse. I'll probably use it as my everyday purse. It's so cute, and I love knowing that it's a one-of-a-kind purse. No other purse is going to have these exact ties on it and stuff. And so, yeah, I just love it. Okay, so I have 9 ties here. I have 1 right here and 8 right here. This one over here is the one I'm going to use as a closure for my purse, so I'm just going to set this one aside for now. Of these 8 ties, we are going to cut them all. Now, what I've done is I've measured 14 inches from the tip of this tie down. I'm going to cut at that 14 inches mark on all of these ties, and that is how long my purse is going to be. Now, you can decide how long you want yours to be. You don't have to do 14 inches like I did. Just make sure that they're all the same. Once you have your 8 ties cut, take the tails and cut those as well. We're going to cut them by placing the corners of the 2 ties right next to each other and then measuring it out. Cut the same length here, and that's all you have to do. We are only going to be cutting 6 of these tails of the ties. One of the other ties we are going to discard, and the other one we'll be using as a strap. The next thing you're going to want to do is lay out one side of your purse. I've done that, and from here what you're going to do is rip out the stitches of each of the ties. And then you can also take out the linings. Once you've opened all of your ties for this one side, you're going to start sewing them together just like so. And to sew them together, you're just going to take 2 of them and place the good sides together, and then you should see the crease of your ties from where it was folded, and you're going to pin on those creases of both of the ties and then sew straight down that line. And make sure that you have the good sides together. Once you have both of your sides done, they should look something like this. And what you're going to do from here is just simply cut an outline out of fabric of your 2 sides. And you need to have about a 1/3 inch to 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around of that fabric, and you'll need 2 of them, of course. And this will be the lining of your purse. So after you've done that, you're going to take your 2 sides and place them one on top of the other, with the good sides facing out and the bad sides facing in. We are just going to sew a line right straight across here, and this line that we're sewing it above these corners here, and so these flaps should just be hanging. The line will go above it. Once you've sewn that line across the bottom, it should look like this. Flaps open just like that. And what we're going to do from here is flip our piece. So now it is basically inside out, I guess you could say. And from here, we're going to flatten it as best as we can, and we are going to sew down the 2 sides here. So here's where you've sewn already. You're going to sew down these 2 sides and leave this top part open up here. So now you should have a piece that looks like this, and it should basically be somewhat like a bag. You can open it up and put stuff in there if you wanted. And so now we're going to work on our lining. And to start off, if you haven't cut it, of course you need to cut it, but from there we're going to simply place the insides together, and then we are going to sew down the two sides. So this is my bottom and this is my top, and we're going to sew down the two sides. Once you've sewn your two sides of your outline, you should have a tube just like this. You should be able to stick your arm through it. And so now is the most difficult part of this whole process, and you're going to have to listen very carefully. So you want to have your lining outside out, so right side out, just like it is now. Then you want to take your ties and you're going to turn this piece inside out. From here, you're going to find the two corners. So that'll be here and here. I have my two corners. You're going to take your straps, which I have here, and you're going to put it inside the bag. You're going to take the good side of one of the straps and place it against your bag like this. So the good side of the bag is facing the good side of your straps. And then you want it to be in the corner. So here's the corner of the bag, here's the corner of my strap. I'm going to place them against each other, good side against good side, and then I'm going to pin it down. Now I'm going to make sure that the strap is not twisted at all, and take the other side of the strap and do the exact same thing in the other corner. So here's the corner of my bag, corner of my strap, good side and good side. I'm going to place them against each other and pin it down. Now you're going to take your little flap here that is going to hang over, and you're going to put it good side facing the side that you don't want the strap to be on. So this will be the back of my purse and this will be the front. So whatever side that you sew your flap onto is going to be the back. I've decided that I want this side to be the back, and so that's where I'm going to sew this. Make sure you sew it in the middle. So I'm going to sew it in the middle, good side against good side on the back. And I'm just going to pin that there. Alright, so now make sure that your straps are on the inside. And what we are going to do from here is take your lining and make sure you have the top on the top, bottom on the bottom, and insert it straight into your bag. My bottom's on the bottom. Now you're going to pin the corner of your bag to the corner of your other bag. So the corner of the lining to the corner of the bag. Pin that into place. Now do the same thing on the other side. Got the side or the corner against the corner, and I'm going to pin that there. Now just pin all the way around the rim of your bag and the lining. And now you're going to sew all the way around here. So we put on the straps, we put on the flap, and we put in the lining. And that is all we have to do for this part. And now sew all the way around. And make sure you sew very well. Don't miss any of the spots. You might want to go over your straps a couple times, and maybe even the flap that goes over it a couple times to make sure that it's sturdy. Once you've sewn all the way around, we are going to turn our bag inside out. It should look something like this right now. So you're just going to pull the lining out first, and then take your straps and the bottom of the bag and pull that out. And it should look something like this. And now you can push your lining into your bag. Kind of make sure everything is as it should be. Pull that over. And then now what we are going to do is, this is optional as well, you don't absolutely have to do this, but we're going to sew around the edge once again, but this time on the outside, and that'll kind of flatten this out and make it look a little more finished. But if you don't want to do that, you can leave it as it is now. I just like the look better, and so I'm going to sew all the way around this piece here. Alright, so I sewed the top and it gave it that finished look like I said it would, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And so now I'm just going to sew my button on and then cut a slit in this flap right here so that I can slip the button through it. And then that'll be done, and then I'll take out my lining and I'll sew the bottom of my lining up so that that will be all done. And then I might even add a flower on here or anything like that to give it a little decoration, and it'll be done. I'm just going to show you how I make my flower real fast. You should have 7 of these extra pieces of tie that look like this. And what we're going to do with these is we're going to cut 6 or 7 8.5 inch strips, just like this, from the skinnier side. So here's the skinnier side and the fatter side. From the skinnier side, you're going to cut 8.5 inch strips, and once you have those strips, you're going to make loops like this one. How you do that is just take the strip and bend it like that. And that's all you have to do. Once you have as many of these as you want, you're going to start sewing them on top of each other like I did here. And then just continue to do that all the way around. Once you have all that done, you might want to use a button or maybe a few buttons to cover up the middle of that flower, because it's going to be really messy there, and so you're going to need something to cover that up. And that's all you have to do.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me a question in the comments below, and I will do my very best to answer all questions. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I try and put out at least one new video a week, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter.